Hi, my name's Tony Gray, and this is going to be lesson number 5 in this mini course that we're doing on all the available chord tones and upper structure tensions found within the major 7 chord. Now for this pattern we're going to be starting on tension 9, so the order of notes are going to be 9, sharp 11, 13, then we're going to get into the chord tones root, 3, 5, 7. So again that's 9, sharp 11, 13, root, 3, 5, 7. So I want you to do this again in all keys. I'm going to show you a couple of fingering patterns for the 4 string. The patterns will come up on the screen. Then we're going to move over to the 6 string where we can have variations of the pattern and kind of move across 5 strings instead of 4, and that's going to be good for the 5 string bass and the 6 string bass. We're going to be looking at the pattern ascending and descending through a cycle 5, so I want you to do this in all keys. These are great exercises for ear training because we're now training our ears to kind of hear above the harmony, so we're getting used to hearing these tensions so we can use them in our solos and melodies. We're going to look at some visualization patterns which are really good, especially when you're improvising, so you can kind of jump on an upper structure and kind of get away from this muscle memory of always starting on the root when we see the root. Okay, so it's going to be really helpful for that. Fingerboard awareness, we're going to be moving all over the instrument in all keys. Great technique exercise. You're just improving your knowledge all around on your instrument. These lessons are often overlooked, but they have immense value, so I hope you kind of work through all of this stuff. And then later, once we've kind of done all this, I'm going to show you a couple of cool ways where you can really apply this stuff in a musical way. So let's get straight onto the exercise, and we're going to demonstrate over a C major 7 chord. So I'll play the pattern for you first. We're going to be starting from tension 9, which is a D. So there's a big shift in these patterns on the 4 string. On the 5 or 6 string, you'll notice we can kind of stay in a vertical position and not shift positions at all. So I'm going to show you some variations, two variations here. So first we have this D major triad, you might have noticed. This tension 9, which is a D, sharp 11, which is the F sharp, and A, which is tension 13. So if we start with our second finger on the 10th fret of the E string, position, so it's 2, and then on the A string 1, 4, so that's 9th fret and 12th fret, 2, 1, 4, and from here I want you to stay on the A string and jump up from your 4th finger up to your 2nd finger on the 15th fret of the A string and just play this C major 7 chord. So it's 2, D string 1, 4, and then 3 on the G, so it's all in position. So from the top, E string 10th fret, 2, 1, 4, 1, 4 on the A string, then move up to the 15th fret and 2nd finger 2, D string in position 1, 4, and then end on the 3rd finger on the G string. 2, 1, 4, 2, 1, 4, 3. Okay, the variation of that, and just before I go there, I'm going to point out again that we're basically playing a D major triad. That's all our tensions. And then we're just jumping up and playing the whole C major 7. So that visualization there is really nice because you know when you see a C major 7 chord or any major 7 chord, you can just jump up a whole step and play a major triad, and you're going to get all them tensions and it'll sound beautiful over the chord. Okay, the variation of this is we're going to stay in position. Starting on the 10th fret again of the E string, so it's 2, 1, 4 on the A string, and this time we're going to play that C on the 10th fret of the D string, and this actually spells out a dominant 7, a D dominant 7 chord. So you've got all them available upper structure tensions and then the root on top. And what you can do from here is jump up to the 14th fret of the D string with your first finger, 1, 4 in position, and then end with your 3rd finger on the G string in position. 16th fret, that would be. So that's 2, 1, 4, 2, 1, 4, 3. And that, like I said, that's a dominant 7 shape. And then this is a really neat upper structure starting from the 3rd degree, which we have basically just an E minor triad. Okay, that's a very common upper structure triad, so it's really important that you kind of get those under your fingers starting on the 3rd degree, but we've already looked at that pattern. So again, it's 2, 1, 4, 2, stay on the D string, 14th fret, 1st finger, 1, 4, and then 3 on the 16th fret of the G string. Okay, now let's move over to the 6th string and we'll show you the two variations of that pattern across 5 strings. So I'm now going to show you 2 variations of the ascending pattern on the 6th string, but these are also good for the 5-string bass, and in fact I'm just going to be demonstrating them in the 5-string range from the B to the G. So we're covering all 5 strings here. So the first position starts on the 3rd fret of the B string, and there's no position shift here, so it's a really convenient one. So the fingering pattern is 2, E string in position, 1, 4, and then A string, 3rd fret, 2nd finger, 2, then 1, 4 on the D string, ending on the 4th fret of the G string with the 3rd finger. So it's 2, 1, 4, 2, 1, 4, 3. And the visualization is the D major triad, and then the C major 7. The variation of that has a position shift, which is really useful when you're fluently moving around your instrument. And we can start this with our 4th finger, so I'm going to move all the way up to the 15th fret of the B string. Okay, so 4th finger, 15th fret of the B string, in position, 3rd finger on the E string here, and then 1st finger, 12th fret of the A string, so there's your D major triad. And then from here we can go 4, 15th fret of the A string, and then we can do our position shift here. So instead of going 3rd finger for this E on the 14th fret of the D string, we can go 1st finger on the 14th fret of the D string. So it's 1, 4, in position 3, ending the pattern there. So again from the top, 4th finger, 15th fret of the B string, 4, 3 E string, 1 A string, 4 on the A string, and then position shift 1, 4, and then ending with our 3rd finger on the G string. I'm now going to perform this pattern starting from tension 9 over a major 7 cycle 5 progression, and we'll be starting from a C major 7. Okay, we're now going to look at the descending pattern, and this basically starts on the 7th degree. So if I'm demonstrating this over a C major 7 chord, it's going to be the same fingering pattern as before, but we've got to kind of think backwards, so it's really helpful for you to work and isolate the ascending patterns as we've been doing and the descending patterns. So starting on the 16th fret of the G string with our 3rd finger, we can play that C major 7 chord in position. So it's 3, then 4, 1 on the D string, and then our 2nd finger on the 15th fret of the A string. So it's 3, 4, 1, 2. Then we can stay on the A string and move from our 2nd finger to our 4th finger on the 12th fret of the A string for that A. So it's 4, 1, and then we can end the pattern with our 2nd finger on the 10th fret of the E string. So from the top, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2. And it's really good to kind of get used to those shifts, you know, because you can't always play in a vertical position, and it's really unhelpful to be kind of fishing around with your little finger when you're ascending. So you've got to really kind of get used to these big shifts that open up a whole new area of the instrument. So another benefit from these exercises is we're really starting to shift positions. So again, from the 16th fret of the G string, 3, 4, 1, 2, staying in the A string, 4, 1, 2. We notice the patterns there. We have the C major 7, and then descending down the D major triad. Okay, the variation of that is starting again on the 16th fret of the G string, 3rd finger. So it's 3, 4, 1 on the D string. And this time we can stay on the D string and move from our 1st finger here, 14th fret, to our 2nd finger on the 10th fret of the D string, and then descend down the D dominant chord. So it's 2, 4, 1 on the A string, ending on the 10th fret of the E string with our 2nd finger. So 3, 4, 1, staying on the D string, 2, 4, 1, 2. Okay, so it's 2 very useful patterns for you to figure out there. So I'm now going to show you 2 variations of the fingering pattern on the 6th string. Now these are the same fingering patterns as we looked at ascending, but because we're descending from the 7th degree and we're not descending from tension 9, it's really important to treat these separately because your brain's going to be thinking in a different way, and also descending has a very different feel, especially technical feel, so it's really good to isolate both of these patterns. So first we can start with our 3rd finger on the 4th fret of the G string, and we can stay in one position there. So it's 3rd finger, 4th fret, G string, 3, moving down to the D string, 4, 1, A string 2, then 4, 1 on the E string, ending with our 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2. Okay, the variation of that, we can start on the 16th fret of the G string with our 3rd finger. And again, you know, we can descend down in position, so it's 3, D string 4, 1. And then we can do that position shift for that C instead of using our 2nd finger. So we can use our 4th finger here on the 15th fret of the A string. So it's 3, 4, 1, 4, 1, 12th fret of the A string, and then ending 3, 14th fret E string, 4 on the 15th fret of the B string. Again, we can think of this as a C major 7, or we can think of it as an E minor, and then descending down the D dominant. So again, 3, 4, 1, 4, 1, 3, 4. It's got that cool little position shift, which is really helpful to kind of get those under your fingers. I'm now going to be performing the pattern descending over a cycle 5 major 7 progression. We'll start on the C major 7 chord, and we're going to be descending from the 7th degree. Okay, once you're comfortable with that, move on to the next lesson. Okay, thanks for watching.